Hey guys, how's it going? It's Professor G. Nice to finally meet and greet you guys. Sorry it's been such a crazy start to the semester. Um, First with my trip to Michigan and back over the weekend. And then this week, my daughter's not back in school yet, so we've had swim in the morning, cello in the afternoon, various other things. So I've just been a little behind. And as such, I'm making one video for both classes. Online, I have Earth Science and Geology. And the reason I could do this is because the structure is very similar. Just the content, varies. You guys even have some labs and a few lectures in common. So I'll bounce back and forth between the two sites so you can see some stuff, and your sites will be fully up and running very soon. Earth Science, I want to say, is the most ready to go, and Geology would have been, but I basically deleted everything yesterday and reloaded it, and then we got all of those notices about overdue assignments and lots of people freaking out. Please, if you haven't emailed me yet, or if you have emailed me, that's old content from a previous semester that I just need to shut off and eventually reset the due dates on. So I've tried to put this forward to you guys in announcements, and a handful that have emailed me. The semester for Geology and Earth Science, at any rate, officially starts today, our first class. Okay, and I know the semester started yesterday, but we start today, and so I did put that out Sunday night, rather late to you, and then in an announcement, and yesterday as well with an announcement. So what are announcements? You should be getting. I'm sorry, I've got a toolbar on my screen. I would love to get out of the way. I don't think you can see it. It's part of the recording software. But it's in my way at any rate. Right here. So I don't know if you can see that or not. So I've been, checking in with you guys. A rather lengthy one yesterday. And then here's the one I sent Sunday night. Announcements are my primary way to communicate with you. Okay, you guys really, really need to check for announcements at least a couple times a week. Okay, at least. This is not one of those classes that, if you've taken online classes before, some of you are used to this. I apologize, it's not how I run things. This is not one of those classes where I just turn everything on day one and it's a race to the finish. As soon as you get it done, you're done, yay. It doesn't work that way. It's a lot of work, and as such, I try to sort of structure it, dole it out, however you want to say it. You'll get fresh lecture from me twice a week, okay, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is why today's the first day of class, in quotes. And then each week we'll get a new lab on Wednesday. And this is for either class of mine, okay, whether you're in Earth Science or Geology. So tomorrow, I'll post the first lab, okay? Now, if you've been poking around on the sites, you may have already seen some of this content. That's fine, but I haven't officially assigned it yet. When I assign something, it'll show up here in the announcements, all right? My very typical thing is a subject line of this week in lab. Okay, and it'll tell you what that week's lab assignment is. Lecture, after a little while, I stop telling you about lectures because hopefully you're into the Tuesday, Thursday groove, after the first week or two. Okay, but expect that by Tuesday afternoon and Thursday afternoon, usually late morning, I have office hours. Just first week, as I said, is crazy. They're posted. So for Geology in particular, I teach the class on campus at 9:30 to 11. And I usually record that lecture. And then in my office hour, I will go and upload it and it's going to go right here where lecture content is. Okay. Now, I think I clicked on Earth Science a minute ago. So there's already some content here. Introduction, they go by units. In geology, we don't really have units. We're a little more chapter-based. So Unit 1, and as I said, there's some stuff here under lecture casts. All right. There is a lecture that dates off because, well, see, today we're doing this instead. There's one assignment, and then there is another lecture and some lectures for next week. The thing is since I'm going to be more or less re-lecturing these lectures starting on Thursday and going through the next couple of weeks, I will refresh these with more current. These are probably last spring's lectures. And not that my lectures vary much. I've been giving them for 20 years. But it's still nice to have fresh content, so to speak. So these will more than likely be getting swapped out as we go through. Just as an example, what this does, in order to get captioning, I upload to YouTube, okay? And you have the option of watching it here or watching it on YouTube. That's entirely up to you what you do. But what's more important is that you actually watch them. So, yeah, and you see this one here, SP24. So that's spring of 24. But they're embedded into the class site. Okay, I've got it on teacher view right now, so you're seeing a lot of extra garbage that you wouldn't normally, like I don't think you would see down here. Teachers are almost just as new to D2L as you guys are. Okay, we just got it for the first time last fall. So mind you, we've been working with it for a year, but the previous site, Blackboard, I worked with for 20 years. So we're still getting the kinks out of this, and some of my colleagues are more ahead than others. You guys are probably grumbling about how clumsy I am with it. Believe me, there's people out there that are worse than me, as far as I can tell. So the simple fact, like on the geology one here, let me scroll down and show you what everyone's freaking out about. But see, you guys have the same messages over here, okay? The only thing I did was change the class. But down here, all this overdue stuff. And again, I apologize. I'm not making fun of you guys in any way. I would have freaked out too, okay? But the simple fact that there's just so much. And test 4, you couldn't possibly have taken test 4 yet, So all these due dates, they're left over from the summer. Which is where I recycled this page from. And I just need to go through and spruce it up. But that's been fairly low on the priority thing. You guys may recall, if you read my announcements, the fact that I've been syllabus hunting for the last several days. I finally found the dang things exactly where there should have been. I don't know why I couldn't find them before. But I didn't want to open this in Pages. So I will be posting these PDFs when I'm done making this recording. I figured I better just do this before I get sidetracked again. So this is our syllabus. As I said, I updated the fall semester. It was all of 10 minutes work on each syllabus to make some changes, but I couldn't find the dang things because to retype all this would have been a lot more work. I'll allow you guys to review this on your own time. I'm not going to use up our video here to read the syllabus to you. The important thing, what do I have open? I have geology open. Geology, you have a little bit more rock and mineral work to do than the earth science folks do. The earth science folks do some labs that we don't do in geology. Like they get to look at stars and stuff. We don't get to do that in geology, unfortunately. But so you'll see, and also in geology we have a lab manual. Earth science does not have a lab manual. Both texts, regardless, are embedded into the class site, and I'll show you where that is before we're done. All right, so you don't have to buy a lecture book unless you opted out when you were signing up for classes. All right. It's a default that you opt in. So you literally would have had to uncheck a box. It's called like first day access or something along those lines. And you pay for your books in your bill. They charge you by credit hour instead of by the books. Supposedly, it's supposed to be a good deal for you guys. I suppose that depends. You got to figure they wouldn't do it if it was a bad deal for the book companies. So they figure they're making out some way in this here. But at any rate, so more than likely you purchased a lecture book already. Okay. So don't go buy another one. In geology, the lab book is supposed to be bundled in with it. So you should not need to buy a lab manual as well. That is paper, though. So you have to get it from the bookstore or have them ship it to you. And also, either class, both classes, you need this mineral and rock kit from the bookstore. Okay. I'm not sure why it's not listed here, but there is a map lab that runs the entire semester. On the earth science syllabus, I left it in. Too many syllabi floating around here. Yeah, and a world map. For some reason, it got truncated on the geology one there. The map does have a digital option. When I turn it on tomorrow, you'll see, and you could make the decision whether or not you want to go buy a poster-sized world map, tape it to your wall. You guys are basically keeping track of earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, whatnot, natural disasters that go on during the entire semester. Please make sure you start this lab the first week of classes. Okay? So many people forget about it, and we get to the end of the semester and they want to try and Google all that stuff. It's almost an impossible task. So this needs to be an ongoing project. At any rate, in the last couple semesters, we've been trying a purely digital version of it. You get a picture of a map, okay, and you zoom in and put a little X marks the spot for whatever event it is, and so on and so forth. If you think you have the tech savvy to do that, you're more than welcome to. And as I said, all that is explained in the lab that will be turned on tomorrow. So anyhow, if you're in earth science, you need to make sure you get that rock and mineral kit. And your lecture book should already be on the class site. If you're in geology, your lecture book should already be on the class site. You need to get the lab manual and the mineral and rock kit. The other thing I want to point out here are my office hours. One student was concerned because I showed my campus office hours on here. You are not expected to be on campus. You do not have to come to class or anything like that. But I do want you to know that you are more than welcome to stop into my lab room. That's AB 221 there. Okay, anytime you want to. Well, you can come anytime you want, but I'm only here then. And come in and see me about something. Just because you're an online class doesn't mean you can't stop by in person. Okay, and otherwise, we can always set up a, we could talk over email. Most things can be sorted out over email. And if necessary, we could set up a phone call or a video call, something like that. Because I know some of you aren't in the immediate area. I've had students as far off as well, compared to some of the others, I say, Manhattan, but I've had people in Florida, Oregon, all over the place. So no worries. Apparently, I have this phone number set up to forward. I didn't know that. A student called me the other day, and I was a little surprised. At some point, I must have set up forwarding, which is totally fine. Just caught me off guard. We got rid of office phones probably a year and a half ago or so, and we have this weird little app on our computers. And, well, I've never heard my laptop ring like a phone, so I don't know. I may have 1,000 voicemails somewhere waiting for me. But at any rate, pardon me 1 second. All right, and I'm back. I don't know. It just gave me some weird pop-up, the screen recording software I'm using. I hope this video isn't messed up. But I also find it hard to believe I've been talking for 47 minutes already. That doesn't seem accurate. So I think something's messed up. At any rate, where was I? So email is perfect for me. Okay, please email me if you need to, or stop by my office hours. If you have to use a phone, do feel free to reach this. I think the point where I was we don't actually have phones on our desks anymore. Okay, and that goes for any of your teachers. I do have one in the lab room, but this one is my office phone number. All right, so there's my office hours. There's how to reach me. Email is best. There's my lab room, which has been my office lately. And here's when I'm there. I've told you here on the syllabus what I already mentioned earlier. Lectures will be posted on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And new labs will be posted on Wednesdays. And you need to check the announcements page with some frequency. Okay, that's the biggest stuff on here. Please do read through this. It talks about grades. You've got basically a tests section, which is 3/4 of your grade, and an everything else pile. It's not exactly lecture and lab. It's close. All right. In geology, you guys have 2 big lab tests. They're called lab practicals. Okay, and those are so big and so important that we moved them into the lecture tests as far as where the points go. Okay, so those are big important tests. You don't want to blow those off. But then everything else, like all the lab work, all the various little assignments that you have here or there. The first one I mentioned this week, it talks about philosophy of science. All that stuff goes into the everything else pile, which makes up 25% of your final grade. And that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but trust me, that 25% is oftentimes enough to sort of save you, okay? You've been trying really hard all semester, and whether all you could do is end up with a D or even a C, maybe on test averages, okay? Or any grade, but not what you wanted, if you follow me. But you did every stinking little lab I asked you to do. You watched every video, filled out all the little worksheets. You turned all that in, and lo and behold, you find out that you got the next grade higher than you expected. That's what that 25% will do. Unfortunately, it also works the opposite way. Okay, you have gone by, and again, maybe you struggle to get those C's, so you got a really low C, but along the way, you only did like half the labs. Well, that 25%, unfortunately, might be just enough to drag you down. And even though your test average is a low C, you might end up seeing a D on the report card because of that 25%. So, moral of the story, don't blow off lab. Don't blow off the assignments, okay? Please, please, please. So, like I said, I don't want to read through all of this here, but you should, all right? A couple important things here. All right, for those of you that are new, freshmen, so to speak, you might not know this, okay? If you had an IEP in high school, it does not follow you here. You need to go to the Office of Accessibility Resources, all right, and let them know. You got to do some paperwork, so on and so forth, and then you guys collectively will let me know that you need extended time or whatever on a test, okay? You have to self-acknowledge this stuff. You got to let them know. And then also Title IX, okay? Hopefully that doesn't apply, especially in the sort of online world here. We're a little removed from some of that stuff, but you never know. Very important statement here as well. So do take some time to read this stuff through. I'm going to close this up and go back to our website real quick. And again, I will have copies of both of these posted on your sites very soon. All right, and we're back on a class site now. We're on the geology class site. And what did I want to show you? I want to show you how the book works. Okay, so right here, your textbook. You click on that. Now, if you've not had a book from Norton Publishers, you may have to make an account. All right. I recommend, you don't have to, I recommend that you use the same credentials you use for your other MV stuff, like your email, whatever. Well, that way you don't have a whole lot of stuff to remember or forget, actually. This is not the book here. This is just a picture of it. And, well, it went to that because it's the teacher page. Sorry. If you click on it, it won't do anything. When I clicked on it, it thought I wanted to edit it. First day access, again, I might be making that word up, but the program itself is something very similar. So you scroll down, and just right here is the textbook. Now, again, you guys will probably have to, well, I know you will, you have to log in, all right, and you might have to make a new account. And if it wants to load, okay. And there it all is right here. Your science book is made by the same author. I like him. He's a good writer. And you would just, let's say we're talking about plate tectonics. And you scroll through this way. I'm not the biggest fan of ebooks. We're told that you guys like them. I keep thinking that I keep saying that I'm going to make a little survey or poll at the end of the semester and ask you guys if you actually do like these. We have the option to get paper books still, but we can't do both. We can't get, whoever wants paper and whoever wants ebook. So, they're kind of pressuring us into doing this whole ebook thing. But if you guys don't like it, that's silly for us to keep doing it as teachers collectively. So we need that data. It's all fine and dandy on an iPad, right? But clicking through on a screen, I don't know what I would have thought of that as a student. Boy, he's warm, huh? He's in Greenland though, so it might actually be really, really cold. So you just keep coming through, and then it's this way. I think they changed this book. I swear it used to be over here on the right side. You would click, or maybe that was my environmental science book. It's nice with the ebook because they can do stuff like this. They could show you some little videos here and there. Okay, so there are some definite advantages to it, but in the end, you've got to be comfortable reading all this stuff on a screen. I'm sure you could zoom and whatnot to make it a little easier, but. So anywho, here's your textbooks, okay? And while we're on the topic, it opens in a separate tab, so you could always go back to this one here. While we're on the topic, actually it went 2 tabs deep. Take 3. While we're on the topic of lecture books, I want to talk briefly about testing, and then I want to wrap up this video because you guys have been really patient with me here. I test based on my lecture, which is why it's important for you guys to log on and listen to the lectures each week, okay? Which, by the way, this class is asynchronous. You don't have to do it at a specific time, okay? But I do recommend, trying to find a Tuesday and a Thursday, sometime on there to log on and listen to this stuff. You don't want to get too far behind. But I test from lectures, which is why I give you the PowerPoints. Here they are. And if you're, I don't want to say if you're smart, but what you're supposed to do is download this. I'm old school. I'd probably hit print on the printer. Print it out, and while you're listening to the lectures, take notes. Okay? That way, when it comes time for the test, how do you study? You study these. All right? Yes, it's important to read the book. Don't get me wrong. But my job as a teacher is to distill and interpret the textbook for you. We get rid of the extraneous stuff we don't need to worry about at this level, for example, and then to add some of my own content as necessary to what I think you need to help understand it better. And that's where my lectures come from, okay? So when it comes time for the test, this is what you want to focus on, not, the night before the test, oh my God, I got to read 3 chapters. No. Hopefully you've done that already. And instead, you're going to say, I need to review the handouts, okay? So use these to your advantage, please. That's what they're here for. So anyhow, the lecture book, found out where the lectures are going to be themselves. The handouts are there. Any lab work you want to do. Now in geology, because you guys have a lab book, most of the content is right in the lab manual itself. Okay, I do have some stuff. Am I in geology? Yeah, I'm in geology. I do have some stuff in here, like the online rock and mineral gallery. Okay, but and there's that natural disaster lab I was talking to you about. And we have the first 2 labs in here just because I know some people are still trying to get lab books and so on and so forth. But after this, there's only like sort of ancillary material, helper content, bonus content, if you would. All right. On the Earth Science site, however, since you guys do not have a lab manual, all of your lab content, all of it, is in here. All right, and a lot of it is turned off. You're going to see here's this little thing here, and I forget to do this a lot of times. So if I say, hey guys, go and look at this and da 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 da, if it's not there, somebody shoot me an email and say, hey, ding dong, did you remember to make it visible again? Because this makes it invisible. That way there's not 1,000 things on day 1 staring at you and you get overwhelmed. All right. Right now, the only thing you should be able to see are these 3 things on both sites. All right, and you guys have the same labs in the beginning. All right, because it's important to me to have you guys review this kind of stuff. And we have very similar lectures as well. We talk about the nature of science, scientific method, and we do a little bit of review of atoms and stuff like that. All right, and then, like I said, that's very similar for both classes. So anywho, all of your labs are here for Earth Science. Okay, I think that is enough for today. I'm sure I forgot to mention a thing or two. Okay, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me. Don't apologize. That's exactly what I'm here for, is to answer emails. All right, and look for our first official lecture, actually about science, on Thursday. And a lab will come out to you tomorrow. Okay, actually a couple labs, because we get that map lab going in the background all semester, and then actually this week's labs. So, all right, you guys, take care. Nice meeting you. Bye-bye.